1942. I stayed into 1946. I was drafted to go to Fort Dix. I went to Fort Dix. They sent me to Massachusetts. I stayed there for about 2 months. Then after that, I went to Germany. No, I went to England first. England, France, and Germany. Then we came on back to come home. But I stayed in there for 2 years. And I volunteered to go into a paratroopers. I let the rough thing. I won't get there and start jumping and be rough. But when I got on the ship, they sent us home when war was over. So that's how I got home first. I was last to go in, first to get home. Now, my uncle used to ask me, Tom Young, how come you're not in service? But his boys is around my age. But they got drafted and went in. I said, Uncle Rob, I will be here when they go, and we'll be here when they come back. 2 weeks later, I got drafted. And he went to the board, labor board, to the Army board to see that I get drafted. That's how I got in. I didn't want to go in first. But after I got in, the experience that I was glad that I did. So after I got in England, we got off the ship in England. Then we went in the northern part of England. We gave off the convoy. People seen us getting off, they started running from us. They told him we had tails. And the girls seen us coming down the street, they would start running. So we got cornered and got to talking to them. So they started hugging it. So where's your tail? So I didn't want to go that way, tell them where my tail was. So they found out that we were good people. So one of my buddies, he got married with them girls. So the commander told us, Lad, I'm glad to see this segregation, forget about it. So he goes back to the house and tells them he wants to marry his daughter. He goes back and meets the family, tells them not to accept him because we're going to have it in the States. And she told us in front of him. So after that, he volunteered to get out of our organization. His name was Captain Hogan. I never forget him. He was a little rough guy. He'd been a paratrooper. He was as big as I was. Then we got into France. I stayed in there, I guess, about 6 or 8 months. So I went to Marseille, France. So what happened was we had money, and they wanted our money to take because we got double for our money, like buying cigarettes and stuff. And to come find out, when they had $20 bills, they would make $40 off the money. So then after that, I went back to Oklahoma. Then from Oklahoma, I went to Wyoming. I stayed there for a while. Then I got a job working for the colonel. So he gave me his Jeep. I would take it back and forth. He even got a cottage, a place for me to stay. I was going to bring my wife out there. But I met a girl over there, so that broke it up. So I told the girl, I said, I don't want my wife to come over here. She got mad with me because I made that statement because she was hanging out with me. So then I took the Jeep to Mexico. Remember over there, got some tequila. Come back, so I told the guys, I threw them in the Jeep with me. So I let them out, and I'm coming back, I had an accident. I hit the curb and threw me up about 10 or 12 feet. I smashed up the Jeep and everything. So I told the colonel next day what happened. He said, oh, don't worry about it. He said, I've got another spot for you. So he gave me a better spot after that. And I wanted to stay in, but I made my mind I want to come home to my wife. So that's what happened. So I came on back home. But I did have a good time over there, and I experienced a lot.
How old are you today, sir?
I'm 91.
91?
Born 1923.
And what made you join the American Legion?
Oh, they had an application in the paper, so I filled it out. What I wanted to do, I wanted to get the Veterans of Foreign War. But after they sent me slip for American Legion, I came here to American Legion. I stayed and I liked it here.
And how long have you been a member here at this post?
I guess over, I must have got in 1946, I think it was.
Been here since 1948?
Yeah, 48. Mm.
What do you like about this post?
The guys are friendly. We all sit down and chat. Most of all the other ones have been in action and everything else, you know? But I was one of the lucky ones.
What would you like to say to any veterans out there that are thinking about joining this post?
I'll tell them join American Legion. Of course, you can bring your family, you have outings, nice things. And we are a whole family. We can so we know everybody.
Is there any place you wanted to serve, you never got the chance?
No, I was sad for wherever they sent me. It didn't bother me wherever I went. I made it my home.
Do you remember anything about your first training in the service?
Yeah, in Fort Dix. Stayed there for 2 days. Then we went into Massachusetts. Then we stayed there, left there, went to Wyoming. They had us, I was in a quartermaster. What happened was, my legs were so short, I couldn't march. Always wanted to march. But my feet I couldn't keep up with them. So the platoon sergeant, Thomas Young, he knew who I was for walking. He heard the footsteps. He took me out, kept me up sometimes half the night, teach me how to march and step. I was thorough and step good. They were always, I'd be flying. I never could walk slow. So then I volunteered to go in the kitchen. Everywhere I went, I stayed in the kitchen. I had a good time.
What was your favorite food you like to make in the kitchen?
It didn't make any difference. Anything. Anything I cooked, I get thrown up on. That was it. Then I got me a jukebox, real small music box in Germany. I gave 5 packs of cigarettes for that. I carried it from Germany back to France. In the convoy, I got off the truck. I left it, forgot it. I went back before I couldn't find it. I was going to bring it home and give it to my wife. It was a very pretty music box. It was all made from Germany.
How long were you married to your wife?
I was married I've been married for 38 years.
Do you have any children?
Yeah, one daughter. And she's 57.
Did she join this service as well?
No, I live with her. Mm-hmm. She watched it with me, taking care of me. See, I lost my wife in 2004.
What's the one thing you'd like to change about the service if you could?
Be a little more stricter and teach the guys. Because a lot of guys didn't want to obey, and they down went astray. I lost some of them over there by going able. Then they just let it like deserters. They want to get back home, couldn't. Some of them went for them work in prison and everything else. That hurt us when they left us. We were all buddies, you know, but they wouldn't listen.
What made you decide to go into the service?
I got drafted.
Got drafted?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the day you got drafted?
Yeah. April the 9th, 1942.
How'd you feel?
I felt all right. I ain't had no brothers, no sisters.
So you were glad to go?
Yeah, I was glad to go. I experienced it right.
When you first got there, what was it like your first week there? In basic training, I guess.
Yeah, basic training, it was rough. But we had to dig foxholes. And it told us, don't raise up. The tanks roll over you, over the hole. That was a little shaky, you know. Outside of that.
What kind of machines did you use or operate while in the service?
A carbine and M1. Now, I went to the target practice to shoot. I'm shooting at everything. I wasn't aiming, just shoot, bang, bang, bang. So I got qualified. Didn't hit nothing. They taught us how to repair them guns in the dark. The carbines, the blindfold in the dark, broke black out. There was no electric or nothing. Just everyone feel. I learned how to rebuild the carbine, and put it back together and keep it clean. Main thing is you keep it clean. Otherwise you can see your face through it.
What was the best country you got to visit?
Germany.
Germany?
People were very nice. They were friendly. So when the war was over, one woman told us, lad, we lost the war. There's people how they said it, you know. She said, we lost the war. We lost the war. But by me working quartermaster, I had food I should bring out to the dump. And they would jump on the trucks. They were hungry people. And we used to give them food, save a lot of food for them, give to them.
Now, in your basic training, did you learn self-defense?
Yes and no. I never run into that problem. Well, you never had to use the gun this way and that way, you know. But we never had no fights with nobody. Then in Germany, they had mines. It was like a Far Cry state. And a lot of the mines had fuses in them. That's how a lot of our guys lost legs and stuff by hitting their mines. We were trained to walk around them. And if you touch them, it would go off. I was one of the lucky ones. Some other buddies got the leg, arm broke off, and everything else.
Did you ever keep in touch with any of your buddies after you left the service?
I kept in touch with a couple of them, but I lost track of them.
What's your best memory about being in the service?
The good time we had, the laughs and talks. See, we guys never got mad at each other.
If you could talk to a young person today who was thinking about joining the service, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them, go in, take orders, do what you're told. Main thing, you push for a rating. Now, I made PFC. When I went AWOL over in England, I got busted. So come to commander said, Tom, I had faith in you. I knew you were going to be a good soldier. In my book, you don't get nothing. So I never got higher than PFC, just by going AWOL.
When you got out of the service, what did you do for a living?
I got out of service, I came back home. I went back to my old job in key keepers. That was a whole wood pole. I used to be on the barge going back and forth to Plymouth, North Carolina. So I stayed there a while. I was only making $24 a week. Then I got raised from 27. So I told my buddy, my captain, his name Jake. I said, Jake, I'm going to ask Mr. Martin for more money. Oh no, it's not a good time, not a good time. So I said, oh, I'm going to ask him next time. So I asked him next time, he said, I'll see what I can do. Come find out, the labor board at that time had a new system set up, but people were getting back pay. I got over $300 some, he got $500 some by me talking up.
Wow.
I was his buddy after that.
So did you stay there, then you retired from that job?
No, I left there, I went to Rice and Holman, rebuilding motors. So what happened was Rice and Holman was trying to get a union in there. So I went on strike. So I came out, I went in construction. I was in construction for 38 years. I built a local 222 in Camden. And we made good money. I stayed in service in there for 38 years.
Wow.
I had a lot of rough days, but the money was right.
Yeah. What would you like to tell the people out there that are watching this video now about the service?
I would say you have a good chance for you to get education. When I went in, they didn't have no education of born advancing yourself. But now they got a lot of opportunities. They come out of high school, they go right in service, they keep moving up. Now I've got a couple of nephews, they're in service now, and they move on up. And they like it. One of them didn't want to go at first. He did everything to stay out. I told him, you better go because you're going to get locked up in the street. Because drugs, even in the neighborhood where drugs was painful.
What difference do you notice about today's civilization opposed to when you were younger? How much has it changed?
It's changed a whole lot. See, we had a lot of strikes against us on account of a race. But now, we got freedom. And we keep moving up, always advance.
And a question I wanted to ask you, when you were in the service, did you ever experience that at all?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What happened?
They had one group of blacks, another group of whites. They had like 4 bedrooms up front of us, we was always in the back. Then we went over in Germany. And what happened was they went to a bar. The wait was up there coming down and said, well, I guess we're leaving now, the weather's changing. Man, us going in there. What happened was some of our guys started fighting, knocking them down. So the barroom keeper come to us, lads, don't tear up. You're welcome to stay here. Just please. So we got friends with him. Our bond was made with him.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. We made a good bond over there.
Did you experience any racism outside of the service growing up?
Yeah. Because when I went on this barge to North Carolina, they had signs up. I couldn't go in the front, I go in the back. One place had niggers and dogs not allowed. Then another place went in that by me coming from the north down there, or some of them people that was coming in the kitchen, sit there and talk and everything. And they want to know what was up here in up north, you know, because we were all discriminated. And I seen women down there pulling logs, heavy construction.
Now, when did you notice the country started to change towards race?
I'd say around in the 50s.
Is that when JFK started coming about?
Yeah.
So you believe that he helped actually change?
He did help. He did help, yeah.
What about Martin Luther King?
Martin Luther King helped a whole lot. He made these speeches to us. And he kept us from fighting, saying you turn the other cheek. You're not going to let nobody keep hitting you, you know, fight. But I think we won that pretty good by non-violence.
You know, do you...
When I was raised up around Pennsylvania, I would go to white kids, they'd come to my house. I never had no problem, no racial, nothing. We were buddies, white and black.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
You know, just to the young guys, just listen. Because older people can tell you something. They think older people got ancient thoughts, but it's not. We know what we went through, we know what they're going to go through. But not listening, it's all fast, makes it hard.
Show us how to salute?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, sir.
All right,
thank you for your time.